Speaking Human.
Today on Speaking Human, we guzzle down 4 new flavors of Diet Coke to tell you if they can beat the real thing, and share our picks for favorite Coke can designs.
Speaking Human.
Welcome to Speaking Human, where we simplify the world of marketing for humans. I'm Shad Conley, and with me is my co-host, Patrick Jebber. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm pretty good. We're back on the scene with a new podcast.
You know, a brief few-month hiatus, but now we're back. Should have some new episodes, and of course, we're talking Coke. And who doesn't love talking Coke, man?
Everybody wants a Coke.
We love talking Coke, doing Coke, having Coke, carrying Coke.
When you say doing Coke, you gotta be really careful. Doing Coke has a negative connotation.
It's a risky move. Didn't know if it would attract new listeners or deter new listeners. Wasn't sure how that would kind of go. So, Talking about Coca-Cola, what are your thoughts on the drink? You like it? You drink it? You doing Coke these days?
Yeah. Out of all the sodas, Coke's probably my preference. I used to drink Coke Zero quite a bit when I needed a caffeine fix during the day. I'm not a big drinker of Coke these days, but Coke's probably my preference over, let's say, Pepsi. How about you?
Yeah, definitely Coke over Pepsi. To me, the two aren't even in the same ballpark. I don't know if I've mentioned that on the podcast before, but I don't even... when you go to a restaurant and you're like, can I get a Coke? And they're like, oh, we have Pepsi. I'm like, that's not the same thing. Why are you giving me that as a replacement? They're not even in the same category in my mind. It's funny you say Coke Zero, though. So you drank the 0-calorie version. You wanted the kind of taste of Coke without the calories is what you were looking for, I guess?
I don't know. I actually kind of liked it better than regular Coke, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know why. Because I never really liked Diet Coke. There was like that artificial sweetener taste I never really liked, but Coke Zero never had that taste.
All those Diet Coke, Coke Zero, all those drinks, I always thought, I never quite saw the point of them. I guess I wasn't the audience for them, but I was like, if you don't want to drink the regular pop, the Diet Pop to me always seemed like kind of a gross imitation. It's like, just drink water. Like, if I couldn't have a Coke, to me, getting a Diet Coke seemed like a slap in the face.
Yeah, or worse yet, if you drink caffeine-free Diet Coke, then you're not getting any of the benefits of drinking that soda whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just like the why. You're drinking salty, chemically water.
Very syrupy.
Yeah,
so
syrupy,
you just get
chemically water.
Yeah, I guess it's the sweetness that people are attracted to.
Especially in the 80s, 90s, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Pop in general. Cutting calories was what it was all about. They were definitely the thing.
Yeah.
So in a minute, we'll tell you which new Diet Coke flavor will have your tongue clamoring for more. Is it zesty blood orange? But first, let's get a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's sponsor is Farmers Insurance. Insurance can be confusing, overwhelming, and time-consuming. At Hire Insurance Agency, we remove the guesswork and hassle, helping you protect what matters most. We offer a wide range of auto, home, business, and life insurance policies to help you meet your specific needs. Call 844-543-3463 or visit hireinsurance.com. That's HYRE insurance.com for more information.
So I recently had the opportunity to participate in a taste test, Shad, of the 4 new Diet Coke flavors. And we had this taste test once again at the University of Akron, which is right down the road from our offices. And it was cool. The panel of taste testers were divided into a group of 4 students and then 2 of us from the Speaking Human team. And as with both of the taste tests we've done with the university, we really sat back and watched the department and the students run the show. And there's an accompanying video that they're doing on their YouTube channel to sort of promote this taste test. And we had a nice blend of opinions. So we're going to roll a clip of that taste test for you now, and then we'll talk a little bit about it afterwards.
What's up, guys? My name's Alex Siminoff. We're back again with our second taste test. This time we're doing the new Millennial Diet Coke flavors. There's still the 12-ounce cans, and they come in 4 flavors with the original Diet Coke. We're going to individually go and taste each flavor, but to make things a little bit more interesting, we're going to compare them to the original Diet Coke flavor, and we're also going to try to guess the flavors. So we have no idea what flavor we're drinking, but we're going to try to guess. So the 4 flavors, then for the original Diet Coke, is Feisty Cherry, Twisted Mango, Ginger Lime, and Zesty Blood Orange. And we have no idea what this is, but we're going to try to guess. I want to say it's original, but I don't know.
It's the original.
It tastes like regular Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
regular.
definitely the original one.
Nah, I'm going cherry. I like to be bold. I'll get it wrong. I don't care.
See, this is like with the pumpkin spice taste test, remember? And then we started tasting other ones, we're like,
Yeah, then you
put it
kind
in
of go back.
perspective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Round 2.
Oh, dude.
I can tell by the smell.
There's one.
Ah, yes. It's like a fine wine, first to most part. We're just gonna chug all at once? 3,
Cheers.
2, 1, go!
Yeah.
Oh, I hate myself.
You shouldn't let a taste test make you hate yourself.
That's more than diet.
This
It's
is
more than
cherry.
cherry
It's
Coke.
definitely feisty cherry.
It is.
Yeah.
It's got a kick to it.
It's feisty.
It just made me say, feisty.
The real question is, would you recommend this to a friend?
Yeah, it's good. I drank it in one gulp.
Compared to like the regular one, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. So you could definitely tell a difference between like original and diet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Cheers.
Three, two, one, go.
See, the cherry has such a distinct
Yeah, see, this one I can't smell right off the bat. I think I
This
have to
one's
drink
like
this one.
citrus.
No, this is definitely the ginger lime. I'm smelling it.
Oh?
ginger lime.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
think
think it's
ginger lime?
I think it's ginger lime.
Yeah.
I think it is
I think
too.
it's orange.
I don't know.
Orange.
Orange.
You really? I thought it was
I
ginger than
felt
the
like I
lime.
was drinking like Sprite when I was
That's
drinking
orange.
Yeah, it's the
I
orange.
thought it was
think.
Sprite.
I'm going with orange.
I think it's ginger. I don't know. I'm guessing go with ginger.
I'm going with orange.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going with orange too.
I'm with you, dude.
I think it's ginger.
I feel like I'm drinking Sprite.
Yeah.
So you think it's the lime?
I think it is.
Oh, you? Oh.
I've never smelled an orange like this.
If orange smells like a dank, put it back, put it back.
What do you smell?
Would you guys go to the store, you're getting pizza, and you see this, do you buy it?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, on
No,
purpose?
it's a no.
Nope.
Somebody gave it to me free?
Yeah, I wouldn't think that.
Maybe.
It just feels like it doesn't belong on a Coke.
That's a very good
It's
observation.
like a different kind of taste.
Yeah.
It's not something
Yeah.
I would crave, like cherry Coke or
Gotcha.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cherry, I feel like, is powerful fruit that it pairs nicely with it. Whereas whatever this is, whether it's lime or blood orange, you almost can't even. It's there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Wasn't feisty enough. Wasn't feisty. Not good.
Oh, this is definitely orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the orange one.
No, this is orange.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting. We are making guesses before we even sip it. You could smell most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely blood orange though. You can.
Yeah, this one's the orange one.
Yeah, this one is so much better than the last one.
Yeah.
So much
I
better.
like the last one
was
better.
No, I like this one better.
That's so weird.
Yeah, at least we knew what it was. Though.
Yeah.
That's good. That in itself, any mystery like flavors, like,
I like the last
Yeah.
one
I
better.
like the
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like Sprite better than Coke?
Yes.
In general?
No.
Yes. Team Sprite.
Right?
Yeah.
If
I
I
just
think.
think orange and Coke
So
is a
between
weird
7-Up and
combination.
It's still interesting though, because I feel like if you're like a habitual soda drinker, you drink soda, you know what to expect from Coke or Sprite. But when you don't, you're almost like, wow, this is like not good. I'm gonna stick to my water. I'm gonna stick to the juice and the teas.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, even if you like, well, I didn't drink pop for a long time, and I went straight back to it. It was like, woo! All of a
Yeah,
sudden
I mean,
it was
you
like,
feel it in your stomach
Oh,
right away,
yeah.
just all the
It was like-
carbonation and everything.
Yeah. I think they should take it off the market.
Oh, yeah. Immediately?
That's mango.
Yeah.
This one's the worst
How they got
one
that mango
so
taste.
far.
I didn't think that was gonna even be able to.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to taste the mango.
Oh.
You taste the mango.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
disgusting.
It's weird.
Yeah, the first taste, I was like, okay. The second taste was like, why am I doing this? Yeah.
I mean, why are you doing this? Like you hate it?
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, I love mangoes. This is not good though.
Yeah.
It's weird too because the carbonation in the mango
Yeah,
seems
it
like it's
doesn't-
less, right?
Yeah, oh
It
yeah,
almost
for
feels
sure.
flat.
Yeah, exactly.
Water with
Exactly.
mango.
I mean, the whole point of Diet Coke doing this is targeting millennials. Did they get the job done? Are millennials going to go buy this? What's the verdict? What do you guys think? No?
No. I mean, I think it's cool if you wanted like a different flavor, but
Well, then would you rather just get like vitamin water or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like nothing like special.
Yeah.
And we were talking about before the taste test too. They did this to compete with LaCroix.
Yeah.
You guys like LaCroix? Have you ever had
Yeah.
that?
I drink them.
But you love that, and you wouldn't
Yeah.
want to drink these.
Yep.
It's almost like the perception too, like Diet Coke and just Coke should not have these weird flavors. So they missed the bill.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Do you think that there'll still be people, just like there are some people who love cherry Coke, or even the vanilla Coke? They have that vanilla Coke.
Vanilla Coke, I feel, definitely beats.
And I think when that originally came out, people would have probably said, yeah, vanilla and Coke, that doesn't seem like.
Everyone
But-
just hates change. That's the thing. And then it gets to a point where they're like, okay, change is cool. Like we're okay with this. And then the real verdict, the real answer. That could be the next question. What do you think is a possible new flavor? If Coke came up to you right now and said, "Give me a flavor," what do you got?
I think it's kind of weird, but I think people would go nuts for like berries, like mixed berry Coke.
I'd say maple sea salt.
Maple sea salt.
Yeah.
I would definitely want to try that. Like,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So-
How did you know that though? That's not something you just come up with off the top of your head.
I did. I just came up with it. Maple
I don't know if I
maple
believe
is
it.
actually going to be the next pumpkin spice.
The
for
trend,
sure.
the new trend. Yeah. So continuing.
Oh, ranch flavor?
Oh my! I mean, I love ranch, but I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I'm trying to think. I do that. Chicken wings. What do I like to eat? You know.
Chicken
Ranch.
flavored Coke.
Ranch flavored Coke.
So if I can get it in like that taste
Buffalo
in a
Coke,
diet,
spicy
it's like,
Coke.
you know.
Robitussin. This is my Robitussin flavored Coke.
My Diet Coke puts me to sleep and I feel better.
All right. So, thank you for watching. We had a blast.
That was a taste test of the new Diet Coke featuring our own Patrick Jebber. So tell our listeners, Patrick, where did you ultimately fall on the new Diet Coke flavors? Did you like them? Which one was your favorite? And would you drink them again? Or are you going to drink them every day? Or are you drinking them right now?
Yeah, I'm just guzzling them all throughout the day now. I can't get away from them. They gave me one for free, and then after the first Coke, they made me start paying for them.
Just like the dealers do.
Diet Coke dealers. But, you know, the Diet Coke flavors weren't bad. I think I ultimately came back to the feisty cherry flavor, maybe because that one was safe. It tasted a lot like the cherry Coke, which has been around since the mid-'80s, so it was a tried and true, maybe flavor combination. The twisted mango and the zesty blood orange weren't bad either, but I wasn't a big fan of the ginger lime. It was pretty bland, and in the taste test itself, they couldn't even really make out exactly which flavor that was because it was a blind taste test, so we didn't know which one we were tasting at the time. We had to guess. So the ginger lime, it was really difficult to identify it right off the bat. And so, you know, would I drink them again? You know, maybe. I'm not a big Coke drinker these days. I was sort of talking about that at the beginning, but that's mainly because I've been staying away from sodas altogether. But if I was going to drink one, I'd probably have one of these.
So, all in all, not too bad. I thought it would have been worse. I thought it was going to be more like, "Bleh." So, I'm pleasantly surprised by your moderate review there.
Yeah, I mean, there were some people who didn't like certain flavors at all. Almost everybody came back to the cherry flavor was probably the best or pretty good.
So you can watch that video online, and we'll have a link to it in our show notes if you want to watch the full taste test and get the whole experience, right?
Get the whole Diet Coke experience.
Well, Patrick, the marketing wizards at Diet Coke have changed more than just what's inside the can. They've changed the outside of the cans too, and reworked the whole brand for that matter. So let's talk a little bit about Diet Coke's new look.
Look, here's the thing about Diet Coke. It's delicious. It makes me feel good. Life is short. If you want to live in a yurt, yurt it up. If you want to run a marathon, I mean, that sounds super hard, but okay. I mean, just do you, whatever that is. And if you're in the mood for a Diet Coke, have a Diet Coke. Diet Coke, because I can.
That was a clip from a commercial titled, "Life is Short, Have a Diet Coke." Before we dive into the new Diet Coke can design, let's take a minute to talk about this ad. Shad, what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are this ad is terrible. I mean, really, jarringly terrible. I watched this and it comes off like SNL parody of itself. It's like what an older person thinks a millennial is like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just found the whole thing so lazy and like, I guess it's strategically made to be that way. They're just like, hey, if you want to drink a Diet Coke, drink a Diet Coke. Who cares what's in it? Whatever, dude. Millennials. I don't know, man. I was just taken aback by the tone of it and how it came off. It seemed like talking down and it just seemed ridiculous. It totally, I thought it came off ridiculous.
Yeah, it feels like it's trying to be relatable, but the key there is it's trying, and it's maybe just trying a little too hard, and it's exactly like you said, it almost feels like a parody of itself. It has this like very whatever attitude, but it just feels lazy. Like, if you want to jump off a cliff, go ahead and jump off a cliff. You want to drink a Diet Coke, you can do that too. Who cares? And it feels like it's trying too hard to be something, and it's not working. And I was interested to hear what you had to say about it, though, because we hadn't talked about this before the podcast. So I thought you were going to say exactly what you said, but...
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I didn't look up the general consensus on this either, but I have to guess. I mean, I just looking at like the 5 YouTube comments below it, people are like, this is terrible. I mean, this is awful. I have to guess most people thought that. I'm surprised there wasn't more buzz about it being so bad. Remember when Pepsi came out with that terrible protest commercial and people were like, you need to apologize. I almost feel like this is to that level. It's not offensive in that same way, but it's awful in that same way.
You're like, it is offensive to me.
Generationally awful in the same way, I guess.
I feel like there could be some really great parodies, though, of this commercial and not be far off from the original.
They could just be like, you want to stab your friend in the face? Stab your friend in the face, dude. Whatever, have a Diet Coke.
You want to have a Diet Coke while you're doing it? Go ahead. He's not going to care. Man. Yeah, it's not great. And then it does say life is short, have a Diet Coke. But then, also at the end it says, because I can.
Yeah.
And I felt like, what?
Yeah, what is the message?
I don't know. That's the part that falls apart at the end there. It falls apart throughout the entire thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's very, very murky what the actual message they were going for was, other than just like, young people.
Doesn't really matter.
Just pick a drink off the shelf, man, whatever.
So we both agree that it wasn't a great first try.
Not a great way to kick that off. Just thought we'd point that out for, because it needs to be mentioned.
Yeah, we're generally pretty positive about the things that we have on, but man, I'll tell you, this one, right?
Yeah, it popped out to me in a way most ads don't in its badness.
It popped out because it's a pop, it's a soda.
Like popping I was thinking like popping the can.
That's the sound it makes.
Moving on to more positive things, hopefully. The new Diet Coke cans, they got a new design. What do you think of the new design, Patrick? Good or bad? Why?
I think they're good, honestly. I get where they're trying to compete with similar beverages out there. Like I was reading something about the new designs are their way of answering the LaCroix. LaCroix is very popular right now with the demographic they're trying to reach. Have very similar physical designs in the cans. They're slimmer and taller. And then the design is much simpler and aesthetically pleasing than past designs. Like if you look at some of the past designs of Diet Coke, this one's very clean and bright and bold. When you look at the past designs compared to the new design, they look dated and they look dingy and dirty almost. So that's definitely a positive. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I thought so too. I liked it. I liked the simplicity of it. Did that kind of vertical line down the center, which they used the different colors for to symbolize the different flavors. Use that little image to show you the flavor, whether that's a cherry or the orange. And that was about it. They kind of kept it pretty bare bones, but the Coke name popped on there. Simple, and it looks more now. And I agree when you talk about the old ones. You mentioned that kind of dingy look to them. I didn't really think about it, but they did. They kind of had that faded color to them. Maybe a signature of a different time, but I thought they were good.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't hurt that they have a whole suite of flavors, too. When you see them together as a series, I think it's even more unified. Even if they drop some of these flavors over time, maybe they don't sell as well. I think that they could still interject new flavors and still work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think getting the flavors was a good move. I think that was a smart addition in kind of rebranding this. I don't know where it would be if it was just, kind of a new flavor of Diet Coke, because what they did doesn't seem all that different. I thought they would have gone the healthier or non-aspartame or whatever the flavor is. So without the flavors, I don't even know what they have in this new branding.
Yeah, because it still has sugar.
Which seems weird. Even with the flavors, I don't know if or what the place is for this product now. People have just moved away from, lower calorie drinks in general. People are moving more towards flavored water and stuff is the hot product now. It'll be interesting to see how these sell or how this does on the market.
Yeah, because it's still a soda, right? Even if they're competing with things like LaCroix, design-wise, yeah, I get that, but it's still not. LaCroix is flavored sparkling water, right? So it's not quite soda. So you're still not competing directly with the sparkling waters that are flavored, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's kind of the interesting dichotomy going on there. But in terms of can design, I thought they've done a pretty good job of repackaging this.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, especially when you go back comparing them, I never really liked the Diet Coke can design to begin with. I always thought it was lacking design, if anything.
Yeah, I guess its existence was kind of based more on just switching the Coke colors around a little bit, right?
Yeah, they didn't want it to be confused because all of the Coke cans were like a solid red with it reversed out, the white Coke or Coca-Cola typography.
Yeah. So that's kind of a good transition to our last topic we'll talk about here, which is some of our favorite Coca-Cola classic can designs. There's been a lot of them, and they're all similar, but with some differences. You can look these up online. You'll find a lot of different ones. We found some. Branding Mag had an article that had like 10 different images of some popular ones since like 1960 that we looked at. There's a lot of other ones you could find online. But what are some of the ones you like the best, Patrick?
There's a lot of similarities throughout the years, but I went back to the Coke cans of 1970 and 71 because they're two distinctively different designs, mainly because of the typeface. There's arguments for like just using Coke, the word Coke, or Coca-Cola, which some people say is more recognizable as a brand. So in 70, they used the serif Coke just by itself. And then in 71, they used a classic Coca-Cola, the script version, the classic Coca-Cola script font. And there's nothing much else on these cans except the traditional wave of white down the can, which is why I like them the best. But I like those 2 years because they're very different in their approach, right? And they didn't have a lot of other elements on the can, too, which is kind of what I liked about it.
Yeah. With the can, it can get pretty crowded pretty easy. I like those ones, too. And I thought it was just an interesting thing, the way they kind of go back and forth between using Coke and Coca-Cola. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is to it from a branding perspective, what their rules on that are, but it's interesting how even some of those, you look at like the 66 Coke can and it has Coke surrounded by the word Coca-Cola. I wonder how they get there. I don't know.
Yeah, 1 year they use Coke and the next year they use Coca-Cola. And it seems like there's no real rhyme or reason to it other than they just want to visually change up the design.
Yeah, these little things that you could dig into some more as you analyze them. So the ones I kind of liked, I liked the simple ones that were just the classic Coca-Cola cursive font with that white swirl. And there's a few different versions of those going back to the 80s. And then currently in the 2000s, they've been kind of doing that too. The 1989 one where it was just Coca-Cola. And then coming off the C, they had the white swirl. And this is when they made sure to specifically stamp classic on there. Fairly larger than they do now. And mostly I think that was a response to when they tried to do new Coke. And that was a big flop. So they wanted to make sure people know this is the classic recipe we've gone back to.
Yeah, they were like, we're really sorry. This is your classic version.
This is
Don't
the good
hate
one.
us.
This is the one you like. So I like that simplicity of just that red. You can see as much red on the can as possible with that white Coca-Cola cursive on there. And probably has to be one of the most recognizable brands of our lifetime easily. And then I
Yeah.
also liked the summer editions they did in the 2010 around there. Different versions with its like white outline of sunglasses or an umbrella or a beach ball and just stamp that Coca-Cola logo on there. Instantly recognizable, but also gives you that feel of summer. Cold pop in the summer, who doesn't love it? I feel like Coke marketing thrives in the summertime, so it works.
Yeah, I like some of those fun designs that are just a limited time sort of seasonal offering because they get to be a little bit more playful with the design. You know, it always fascinated me too with the design, especially like in the 90s where they used the original Coke bottle on the cans. Like
Bottle on the can, right? It's weird.
It's so bizarre. I feel like it's almost like they're trying to remind you of the nostalgia of drinking out of a bottle, but you're drinking it out. You're buying the can.
Yeah, looking at them now, I can see what you're going for, that nostalgia factor. And I will say I love Coke in a bottle. I don't know what it is, man. It tastes 20 times better when you drink Coke out of a bottle. It's one of like those little things I just love in life. Every once in a while I'll have Coke in a bottle and be like, it tastes so good.
Something about the glass, you mean?
Yeah,
As opposed
yeah,
to
it just makes it taste better. But you look at it and just the idea of showing you on a can that you're drinking out of Coke in a bottle, and they did this, for years, is just such an odd representation. It may get that nostalgia across, but it also reminds you of what you're not drinking.
They're like, where can I find a bottle? Oh, I got to drink it out of this can. Never mind. I'll just wait for the bottle. It's interesting, though, like the design, while it's very regimented and formulaic, it's also interesting the twists that they've had over the years with the design and how it's varied ever so slightly through some years. And then other years, they like try to do this big departure from their traditional designs. And you could tell they come back around like, maybe that didn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like most brands do, they go back to bare bones it if you stick around long enough, I guess. But it's fun to look at them all taken all together and see the trends through the years.
Yeah. Packaging design, though, man, is one of my favorites, especially how packaging, it plays a big part in whether or not you pick that thing up off the shelf and visually it looks appealing, but also if you end up buying it because of that desire, that emotional chemical reaction in your brain that's happening that's going, God, that looks so delicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which definitely happens with things, especially like pop.
Even the little subtle things that they do with, I don't know any of the ones that we talked about, but the droplets of water on the can to make it seem like it's cold and it's just dripping. The sweat is coming off the can, even though it's not.
It works.
It sells more Coke. So on that note, Shad, let's get our final nugget of human wisdom. Human wisdom.
Today's nugget of human wisdom comes straight from Coca-Cola, or rather a 1971 commercial for the brand that's considered one of the most famous ads of all time. I'll let the content of that ad speak, or I guess sing, for itself.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony, perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. And for real, I'd like to teach the world to sing. In perfect harmony, perfectly. And I'd like to buy the world a Coke
So, great message there. Who doesn't want to buy the world a Coke, Patrick? Let's all
Yeah.
do Coke together.
Yeah, that would obviously get very expensive.
Pricey, especially, you go into like a convenience store, it's $2 for a bottle of Coke. Whatever, man. You want to steal Coke for the world? Steal Coke for the world.
Yeah, if you want to drink it, that's fine too, If you want to drink Coke in prison, it's fine. Because you stole Coke for the world?
Whatever.
Yeah, you could be like the Robin Hood of Coke.
Of Diet
You're
Coke.
stealing Coke and giving it to the rest of the world.
That's what the world needs. More Robin Hoods of.
I like it. All right, everyone, that's it for today's episode. You can find current and past episodes of the podcast on speakinghuman.com. While you're there, sign up for our weekly emails and let Speaking Human come to you in your inbox once a week. You'll like it.
Not too invasive. Once a week, that's fine.
No.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Tweet us your thoughts on the new Diet Coke flavors or can designs using the hashtag New Diet Coke. You can find us at speaking_human on Twitter. That's speaking_human on Twitter. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Speaking Human. Catch you then, humans.
Speaking human.
That's I'd like to buy the world a Coke song ad.
I'd like to buy the world a Coke and sit on top of a hill.
Hold hands.